You're welcome back, and this is the social listening segment right here on Business Day Television, where we get to hear the minds of netizens and also go through what is happening on social media, in the world of social media. I am Deborah Ezeh, and of course, I'm not doing this alone. I'm right here with
Onyeka Valentine.
Onyeka Valentine.
Locked and ready.
I know you're always happy when you do this with me, even though you don't like to admit it.
I mean, like they say, actions is better than words.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, now let's take a look at what is happening on social media. We now head to a birthday party that turned into beef and, throwing shades. The former Ekiti State Governor, Ayodele Fayose, is trending after revealing in an interview that he almost hit former President Olusegun Obasanjo during his 65th birthday party. Fayose said Obasanjo's speech was filled with subtle insult and disrespect, despite their reconciliatory meeting weeks earlier. He said he invited Obasanjo in good faith, even sending $20,000 for his travel needs. But the former president used the stage to take jabs at him, including describing him as not the best among his proteges. Fayose said he felt embarrassed, especially with the vice president present, and struggled to control his anger. Before I hear your thoughts, let's take a look at what the netizens are saying concerning this. And of course, the first tweet we have from Banky, and it said, Obasanjo's speech is exactly how it should be. If you as a younger man disrespect me and still invite me to your wedding and I accept to come and pretend nothing has happened between us in the past, then I am not doing it right. Another reaction from Obiora, and it says, Fayose should take note of some of the simple admonitions and learn from them. Birthday celebrations isn't just about eating and drinking, but also about reeling out all your achievements, ups and downs. If nobody else said anything, Pa Obasanjo didn't miss out on the importance. Another reaction from Kunle Jimba, and it said, I salute Fayose's courage for inviting OBJ. It shows a genuine heart and respect for elders. OBJ cannot be grandstanding because he himself isn't as nice on the political scene to Fayose. Fayose was a brave-hearted man OBJ couldn't push aside like Asiwaju. Another reaction, Olufemi Adwo, and he said, Fayose's outburst is a vulgar admission of poor upbringing and emotional indiscipline. Any man who claims he felt like eating an elder statesman with a microphone betrays the manners he was taught at home. Such reckless speech underscores his chronic immaturity and persistent deficit in statesmanlike conduct. Okay, so this is rather funny. I find it very funny that when I see two elderly people throwing jabs at each other and throwing actually subtle jabs at each other, I begin to wonder where it all ends. But before I hear you, I agree with OBJ. I think because I am that kind of person too. If we are not cool, we are not cool, regardless if you ended your hands of peace and like, okay, let's just end this. It simply means we are not cool. And it's not going to take away the fact that you are this person or you did this kind of things to me. So I don't know where Fayose is actually, why he's feeling so riled up. And I if everything OBJ said was not true, why are you riled up? You can just laugh it off. But what I find very interesting in this is actually the money that was sent. May I have friends who will invite me to their birthday parties by sending me $20,000? I'm shaking. Oh my God!
Don't shake too far. I will explain this thing in very simple terms.
Okay.
Where even the blind will understand and even the deaf will see my demonstration. Let's be honest. Look. You see, he who points finger at one person, should rest assured the many fingers are pointing back at him. In this particular case, let's be honest, whoever it is that is wise will know that OBJ came from a very far more matured point.
Yeah.
Who sends a former president not one time, 2 times, 3 times, right? Who sends him $20,000 to do what? OBJ is not a broke man to start with first. Let's start with that.
Oh, wait.
Hold on. I'm coming somewhere. I'm coming somewhere. First of all, OBJ is not a broke man.
Okay.
That's one. Secondly, Fayose has always been known to have he spits venom.
Of course.
Okay. And like I said before, if you're in glass house, you live in glass house, don't throw stones. Now, you were talking about, well, I'll call him a father figure to you, because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right? A father figure to him. Right? You're talking about him getting on your nerves on your birthday. For crying out loud sake. If all anyone would do on your birthday is to, pour you praises and hide the truth, then it's not a complete birthday. What a birthday should be is while you celebrate an extra year, you create room for what we call constructive criticism. You create room for space for you to learn. On my birthday, right? I remember.
I don't want to remember your birthday.
So I was supposed to buy cake for some people.
Good.
And invite people. That didn't happen due to one or two issues, right? And I got some criticism. And I said to myself, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes me a better man. So I can plan ahead of time, right? And manage funds. Because that makes me understand that there are people out there who actually do love me and want to tell the truth. So if Fayose, as a mature 65-year-old man, right? Okay? Cannot see the irony in that, then I'm sorry. He's a man, but he's still thinking otherwise. And that's the fact.
Well,
more so, right? Before now, they've had back and forth,
of course,
between both of them. And so if he extends his hand to say, as way of peace accord, come to my birthday party, the man actually attended the birthday party, right? And heard his specific and his clear opinion about the situation, yet he was there to the very end. He didn't just say what he said and walked away, right? To kind of put you under the bus or something. He was there to the very end. Fayose's response was unnecessary. Fayose's reaction was unnecessary.
Okay.
See, I call it response and reaction, right? I expected him to have seen what happened, and then the way and manner you respond could have shown that you are far more a bigger person. By doing what? Look for different ways to come across this thing.
I disagree with that.
Which is why
you don't expect. You're not supposed to expect people to react the way you would want them to react.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Fayose is not me, right? I could have responded differently. He's not me. I'm not him. But knowing who Fayose is, he's someone who spits fire. He thinks about it. He delivers. In fact, I'm almost tempted to call him Donald Trump of Nigeria, right? Because we know Donald Trump. He thinks about it, he fires it on. However, when you're dealing with someone like OBJ, who is a calculative, they call him Baba Democracy, right? He's so calculative. He comes from the background of the military. And I'm talking about the military that is not indoctrinated, as in what's called, well, I always quote and unquote, tossed by some level of politics. No, he comes from a proper military background. Level of training and discipline is key.
Yeah.
And at that level, as a general, they will tell you your fault, right? At the same time, pat on the back. Which is why we come up with what we call the carrot and stick approach.
Okay, I hear you. But at the end of the day, we understand that birthdays are actually a time to celebrate and also to reflect.
Right.
And even people who say they don't like their birthdays, they actually feel special on that day. Because either all eyes are on them or all attention are actually on them. Don't you think, just briefly, don't you think OBJ would have said all that he wanted to say when they actually extended the hands of peace and, they sorted out their issues before his birthday and not on his birthday? I see where Fayose is coming from. Should he have said, he felt like eating OBJ? Of course not. I totally disagree with that.
How do you hit it?
I don't agree with using violence to solve your problems. But I would feel a certain kind of way when, somebody who we're not in talking terms, and then I extended the hands of peace, still gave you $20,000 to actually come for my birthday, and then you come and start throwing jabs at me. It doesn't matter if the jabs is actually true or not. It doesn't matter at that point. It is my birthday. It is a time for celebration. You can keep whatever sentiments that you have aside.
Speaking of sentiment,
just celebrate with me.
I'll tell you. Speaking of sentiment, I think OBJ when I say that I am in support of what he did, I think OBJ felt very insulted because
of the money.
Hold on.
Let's move on. Okay. Do you know? Can somebody convert $20,000?
$20,000 is chicken feed to Obasanjo.
That's my Valentine there.
Obasanjo's a billionaire.
Okay.
$2,000.
Okay, I rest my case.
I'm almost tempted to say that that's more money for me, but let me keep quiet.
You know the 200,000 you promised on this same set, you've not fulfilled. Anyways, let's move on to the second conversation, and that's the Nigerian police force has started pulling officers away from celebrities and VIPs across the country. Right. This follows President Tinubu's order that police personnel must return to core security duties instead of being assigned to individuals. The directive is already in motion, and officers have been instructed to return to their bases immediately, with some giving deadlines as early as November ending. Those who still want armed escorts are now expected to get protection from the Civil Defense Corps. Let's take a look at what netizens are saying concerning this development. And the first one from Louis P. He said, who cares if police are withdrawn from VIPs? Oga, take out terrorists and their sponsors or face international sanctions and military intervention as instructed by Trump and the American law. Another reaction from Gasol, and he said, this is brilliant. President Tinubu's directive to pull police from VIP protection back to real policing is bold and spot on. More officers on the streets means safer citizens. And that reaction from Onyeka, and it said, that's audio implementation. VIPs are still moving around with your police escort at the time of writing this. And a reaction from Frunshaw, and it said, I think it is a welcome development coupled with the fact that a reasonable number of our police officers are attached to VIP at the detriment of the masses, whom they are meant to police. Their presence should be felt in various communities. What do you think about this?
Straight to the point. I'm going to start my explanation with the first contributor there.
Okay.
And let's make this very clear. People don't know. Let people just get to know very quickly. Look, if you think Donald Trump loves you, you're joking. He doesn't love Nigeria. Their interest, and I'm not saying it's not an insult. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Remember, he actually gave Nigeria a very terrible name before he now says that it's now a disgraced country. I wish I could say that on air, but I can't say that on air, right? So he has been known to always throw that at Nigeria. So let's leave that on the side. The first contributor should go and do his homework and find out exactly what we're talking about very quickly. Now, back to this matter, okay? If for any good reason, right, we see the government responding slowly, is there a response so far? There is. If you're expecting, because I mean, we are not an extension of the United States. We are a sovereign nation. If you're expecting, right, that the pulling off of police officers will be an addendum to military officers or military personnel and soldiers fighting Boko Haram, then you're a joker. It doesn't work like that way. You need people to actually, you need personnel to actually police the urban areas, police the suburbs, right? It's not necessarily in the place of the police to actually go and secure our borders. That's why we have our military there.
No, I think we're just talking about community now.
So what I'm heading to is this. What I'm heading to is that, yes, we're having the police now focusing more on policing, which is what we're talking about. But the issue right now is, can Civil Defense Corps be able to protect those VIPs? I think the answer should be yes. Now, the worry now should be, can we trust them? Why not? They are part of our armed forces. Isn't it so? So when I see Nigerians respond saying, oh, for what it is, that's not our issue, go and tackle them terrorism. Look, Nigeria is a very complex country. Anyone who understands how complex Nigeria is will know that things don't happen overnight. And if we're used to how military will come and say, okay, get this done during military, regime, it's not working that way because this is a democratic setting. So there is proper rules of engagement. There's proper open this communication, this, that, as case may be, right? Although the president has what we call space for executive decision, he uses that every now and then. But if he comes and says, I'm also, putting my weight as an using executive decision to achieve one or two other things, and then now mention that police officers that have been moved away from VIP should go and join the army to fight. That's also in his power. After all, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, right? So for me, I think it's a welcome idea to have police officers be withdrawn from VIPs. We have the Civil Defense Corps.
Yeah.
They too are also armed. I don't know about the kind of arms that they have, if it's quite technical.
I don't really think the VIPs really, I think it's just escort and normal having to carry bags, like you always say.
Carry madam's bag.
Carry madam's bag and Oga's bag.
Another thing is that, look, if people are worried, if VIPs are worried out there that pulling off police officers makes them vulnerable, my question to you is, if you're not hiding anything,
I don't think anyone cares about the VIPs. I think what people actually care about is you having to withdraw those people.
Right.
Is it going to curtail this kidnapping and banditry?
If
that is going to be the solution, then by all means. But we don't want you saying, you're going to be stationing policemen and then nothing is done. I think that's where the worry of the netizens actually
So in the words of Abiola Kashimawo, in other words, let's wait and see.
Let's still be looking.
Let's be watching.
All right, so now let's move to KWARA State. And in KWARA State, the Islamic terrorists attacked the Isapa community in Ekiti local government area, kidnapping at least 11 people, including a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several children. The attack happened around 6 in the evening and came just one day after 38 kidnapped worshippers were freed from the nearby Iruku community. Residents say 20 to 30 gunmen stormed the community with rifles and katus, shooting sporadically and dragging families out of their homes. 7 of the victims are from one household. An elderly woman was also injured by a stray bullet. After the attackers fled, people found bullet holes and used shells all over the community. It's the 3rd major attack in the area this month, and many residents have now fled, which is actually very sad. Let's take a look at some of the reactions quickly. And the first reaction we have from Sami Ugo Nambo, and he said, "The bandits and terrorists who refuse to kill today will kidnap and kill civilians again tomorrow." And that reaction from Samuel Victor, and he said, "Okay, let the government go and negotiate again. Maybe they will make another phone call, ask politely, and the bandits will comply out of respect, like we are children watching a cartoon. Since rescue now means begging killers, instead of arresting them, let them continue the tradition." Another reaction from Akobi Omo Oshodi, and he said, "This government has clearly lost the capacity to protect its own citizens. The insecurity is getting worse by the day, and it's obvious this administration needs serious help. A government that cannot safeguard lives has failed in its most basic duty." And finally from Esejin Rita, and she said, "And this same governor will just sit down comfortably while leaving all the real work to the federal government. Enough of this absentee leadership. Another attack, 11 people abducted, yet is nowhere to be found. KWARA deserves better."
Absolutely, yes.
There was actually a video that circulated this morning.
Right.
Of the bandits and I think some of the Kebbi or Niger State students or pupils that were abducted. So the bandits were actually speaking in Hausa, and they were like, okay, I don't know how true that video is, but from what he was saying,
it wasn't AI.
It wasn't AI. No, of course, it's not.
Because this AI is about
we should just leave AI out of it. Let's leave AI out of this. Like, we saw children, I saw young children in that video. And the bandits actually said, and they said with all confidence, that these kids that they want to release now, the government has already paid for them to be released. That they will do it again and again because they know the government is definitely going to negotiate with them.
See, the question is this, because as much as... So from the very onset, we told a very wrong line. And the wrong line we told is creating room for even negotiations.
Yeah.
Again, as much as I will always kick against having boots on ground that are not Nigerian boots, I would say there's some certain things to be learned from other country's military. A good example is the United States military, when they say we'd never negotiate with terrorists.
Yep.
Now, why do I give them a plus? Because they have seen that by the time you open negotiations, although we don't know if that's 100% correct, but when you open negotiations with terrorists and you give today, you encourage them to use that same money to acquire arms. So it becomes a business. It becomes almost like an unseen industry. The moment we chose to start engaging bandits by paying ransom, that's where we got it wrong. Yeah. So my question now is that, and this is a way of me trying to follow up with your question, is this: those who are discussing on behalf of these bandits, criminals, because I call them criminals, terrorists, right? Gumi and his likes should be arrested and tried for treason without wasting time.
It's funny how the government,
because I don't understand,
does not see anything wrong with statements that Gumi has been making over time. The one he made yesterday about the bandits, we should actually have like a budget for these bandits because they are doing it for survival. Unlike the IPOB, who are actually just killing people, killing army officials of the government. These bandits are just kidnapping children for money, not because they have intention.
And they rape those children?
Not because they have intentions of killing them. Oh, they can do all of that atrocities. As far as they're not killing them, they need to have like a budget set aside for them. It is how the government they keep hearing things like this, because this is not the first time Gumi has made outrageous statements. This is not the first time at all. People have called for the arrest of this individual. People have said, oh, what you're saying should not be said. It means you're actually like promoting bandits. You're actually promoting these criminals. So the fact that the government has not come out to actually say that, okay, Gumi, you need to be prosecuted for these things that you're saying. You need,
there's some accomplice
exactly. It means you're actually like going hand in hand with these people. So the fact that the government has not said anything simply means, in my opinion, I feel like the government are actually in it. You see, all of this is just a way, it's just a political game for them.
Alleged. So let's be honest with this whole matter. Who is the government? It is you and I. It is those in power. It is those in the executive. It is those in 1 minute. So I mean, government is for the people, by the people, and of the people, right? Those who are in power cannot operate without those who are the followers, those who are in leadership. So it is a partnership thing. However, having said so, it so happens to be that we now see a case of Animal Farm, where all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. But as the case may be, at the end of the day, right, I can understand if some people feel, one way or another, kind of feel marginalized. But my question is, even if you give them room to be educated, they still say no, they still want to toe the line of banditry. The room for negotiation ends at that point.
Yeah.
And those who speak for them should be seen as, look, they are spearheads. And if we have a responsible government, which I know we have, unfortunately, a lot of our areas in our government have been compromised. And I don't have to be, a broadcaster to talk about it.
We'd have to end it there.
So for us as broadcasters, it's important that we help our viewers see that, look, the lacuna is there. Let them not ask the question. How can we solve it? We relay the question back to the government, those who are our leaders. Can this be solved so that we don't lose our international investors? Remember, this whole thing, as business day television that we are, we want to see projections where our business and GDP will grow in our country. But when there's insecurity, no one wants to come and invest. No one invests, jobs are lost because companies cannot withhold staffs any longer.
Absolutely.
And this is going to spell doom for the nation moving forward.
When you started your conversation, you said at the end of the day. I wanted to say the day we end.
That's the case for you.
Of course, we've come to the end of the breakfast show this beautiful Wednesday morning. This is the end of the social listening. Of course, we looked at Fayose and OBJ, and also the withdrawal of police from the VIPs, and finally another tragic incident in KWARA of terrorists kidnapping set of people. Well, I didn't do this alone, of course. I did it with Valentine, Onyeka.
Always present.
Of course, my name is Deborah. Ezeh. More programs continues after this break. Just stay with us.